Hello, Media Dog once again. This CLTBoss video tutorial is designed to illustrate scraping multiple variants, name variants that is, in order to prepare a consolidated XML output. This, as a reminder, this table that I'm pointing to now is the name variants table. I'm going to scrape the contents of the CLT for a set of name variants for a particular actor. I've prepared the name variants table ahead of time. I chose an actor that had some interesting name variations from the contributions forum. So I will use that as an example. Also, there's a relatively small number of profiles, so that kind of prevents the tutorial video from being overly long. And I will be producing output into the XML output window. So let's go ahead and load the variants list that I've saved ahead of time. This is Nancy Leonardi, so I've saved that ahead of time. So now we have populated the variants table. Originally I had planned to have a menu option, scrape all, that would have automatically scraped for each of these name variants, and I've had a bit of trouble making that work in my implementation, so I've temporarily suppressed that menu. However, you should be able to do them one by one without a lot of extra burden by clicking on the scrape selected, selecting the next one, so forth in order, and you will be asked whether or not you want to clear the existing set of UPCs that have been collected. If you answer no to that, then the new ones will be added, and then we can go ahead and scan all UPCs, and the credits will be collected and allocated to the name variant that they belong to. So let's get started with that. Let's do the first one. All of these are relatively small, so it should not take an overly long amount of time. Once again, I'm not, you may see the mouse moving, but I'm not interfering with the scraping process, as I have mentioned in a prior tutorial. While it is scraping, based on some the technical details that I've described elsewhere, you should not click on anything. And since the scraping is relatively fast, hopefully that will not be too much of an inconvenience. Okay, so here's the audit report, as we call it, the scrape audit report. We've got 28 profiles, UPCs I should say, scraped as expected. So that tells us that one went okay. Let's do the second one. We do not want to delete the existing UPCs. By the way, the clicking that you hear in the background, if you can hear that, you probably can, has nothing to do with this demo. It is my way too loud solar system doing some work in the background. So just, if you can, ignore that, please. Okay. So now we have, I believe, just about completed the scrape of the second name variant, and so we will examine the audit report. When you decline the option to delete the UPCs, CLTBoss knows that you, or assumes that you probably want to do multiple variants, so it does not delete the prior audit report and just appends the last one to the prior one. So now we can check. We were expecting 7, we got 7. The previous one we were expecting 28, we got 28. So far so good. So let's do the next one. No, we do not want to delete it. This one is a bit more, 96 profiles, but it's only 4 pages, so we'll get 4 pop-ups. Scraping page 1. And we'll scraping page 2. Scraping page 3. And scraping page 4. So as I said before, the scraping goes relatively quickly, so hopefully not too inconvenient that we can't mess with the screen while it's scraping. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, so we do have 96 UPCs scraped, expecting 96. That's 3 out of 4 so far, so let's keep going. And if we get this next one, we should be prepared to go ahead and do a consolidated scan for the XML credits. I believe we're just, oh no, we're measuring the beginning and end, which is very short on this one. Just should be pretty much 1 page scrape. And we should be done as of now. We'll get the audit report. Hopefully everything is cool. All right, yes. All right, so the last one, we're expecting 4. We got 4. The previous ones we've already checked. The audit report is saved out on the hard drive. And if you don't need it long term, there's nothing to do. There is a view scrape audit report. This menu item will pull the last one that has been saved automatically. If you need to save them for a longer period of time, then of course you can just save them this way. All right. Otherwise, you can always pull it up. As long as you don't overwrite it with a new scrape, it will be the last one you did. Or it should always be the last one you did. Okay. Oh boy. Try doing a video tutorial, guys. It's fun. All right, here we go. So now, let me just show you the UPCs. We have a whole bunch of them that have been collected. Ostensibly, I have culled out duplicates. I'm not going to put that to the test right at the moment. It shouldn't. I can see one right here. Okay, so I have not culled out duplicates. I believe that I'm going to go ahead and I may fix that. I've got to think about whether or not I want to fix that. In one case, I don't want to cull out duplicates. That in a prior tutorial, there's one case where you want to have all of the duplicates in order to verify and validate that you've got the scraping exact. In this case, I think it's counterproductive to have the duplicates because we're scanning for multiple name variants, and it's not particularly helpful to have the duplicates in this list at the moment. As I have, so I will probably go ahead and change my code to suppress. See, here's a whole bunch of duplicates. I will probably go ahead and suppress those. It doesn't matter to the follow-on process because the duplicates get culled out during the scan. And I will show you that right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on Scan All UPCs, and what that will do is we'll run through this table, make a database call to the online, request all profile IDs associated with the UPC, and then begin to build a dictionary of all unique profile IDs. And by the end of scanning this table, we should have all of the profile IDs that could potentially have credits for the name variant in question. And I do keep track of the name variant. That's why I've got duplicates. And now it reminds me. It's a duplicate UPC, but it's not a duplicate entry in the table because I'm keeping track of which name variant wants to be found in that UPC. So I will probably not. So in fact, I am culling for duplicates, and it's not a duplicate if the name variant is different. So I'm just forgetting my own code. Here we go. Scan. All right, so what I've done is I've protected the table from being messed with. While this is going on, what's happening now is that CLTBoss is preparing a list of candidate profile IDs, namely a list of unique profile IDs that have been gathered by making database calls against this list. I only make a database call once per UPC. And again, once a particular profile ID is found, I only add it to the dictionary once, because later, when this progress bar gets to about here, I will then begin to actually make the database calls to scan the XML from the online profiles for credits. And credits that are found for each entry in this table are then added, as appropriate to the counts here and to the actual XML collection output. And we should be closing in on getting close to that. You notice I do have an elapsed time and a estimated finish. I found these to be relatively accurate. So if in fact you want to go ahead and do something else for a few minutes, you can count on this. It's also designed that I can go ahead and do some things. There are some things that should not impact too much the scanning process. You saw the status bar slow down, so obviously you're impacting the network speed, but it shouldn't impact the integrity of the result. If you want to go ahead and do other things with your PC or with DVD Profiler, this whole task is running as a separate thread. So I did that intentionally so that it would not impede your ability to continue to use DVD Profiler or anything else on your PC while this was running. And once again, this great report that we had from before is still out there. So we are closing in on the final results. Here we go. A couple more minutes. question is, will we get to the right numbers? We shall see. I've chosen the option to include a little XML representation of the variants that were used to generate this XML, in case you want to do any sort of statistics. By default, I'm using the CLTBoss skinny XML. And so there it is. It looks okay. I'm obviously not examining this in great detail, so we'll keep that there. Now, if you recall, I don't want to lose this XML, so I'm not going to reload this audit report. I guess I could save this. If you recall, we had 28 here. I think we had 7 there, 96 and 4, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it was. Well, let me go ahead. I'll just go ahead and save as. Let's just save as test. Okay, so now we can view the scrape audit report. So we had 28, we had 7, we had. Did I miss one? 28, 7. Oh yeah, 96. Wait, 28, 7, 96, and 4. What's up with that? So this is a bug. I will fix that. I just it's not obviously going to change the procedures that you're using to do this combined name variants scan and scrape, the scrape and scan. So I thought I would go ahead and prepare this video before I lost the ability to modify my entry in the plugins forum and discover why. I have a feeling that there might be an unintended contains statement somewhere that's causing this entry to match some of those, because this is contained in that. That's my theory. I will check my code and get that fixed. Speaking of errors, that's how you can view the error log. Just click on that. If there are some cases where I ask for information that comes from the error log, this is where you would get it. And there we are. So hopefully, in the profiles where we found credits, or in this table, and again, I am thinking about this one out loud here. Apologize. The tutorial is over, so anyone who's not interested in this thinking out loud business can go ahead and sign off. But this is interesting. This one is interesting. I'm not sure quite what that's all about. And the other thing that is interesting is that I'm thinking that this column now has no more relevance in the combined, because obviously one profile can lead to credits for one or more of these name variants. So I might think about the possibility of suppressing these entries and put an indicator there that these profiles actually are relative to multiple entries. Maybe put an indication multiple or something like that, because there's not much. What can you do with having a name associated with the profile if in fact it's relevant to credits for more than one entry in the table? Okay, so there we go. I'm officially now ending this video. Thank you for watching and listening.